Hey guys, Rodney Alcala here. Now, I want everybody to understand the reason why I'm making this video. Now, everybody seems to think that I'm a psychopath, a lunatic, a murderer. I'm not a murderer like people make me out to be, you know? I mean, yeah, I rape and I kill, but I'm not a murderer, okay? So, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of my backstory, okay? So when I was 12 years old, living in Texas, my dad walked out on the family. It was just me and my mom, and he walked out, and you know, it hurt, but I don't think it had any real effect on me. So I kept on living life, and fast forward to when I'm 17, and I joined the army, and after 4 years, they're like, "Listen, Rod, you gotta go." And I'm like, "What do you mean I gotta go?" And they're like, we took tests and you've suffered from a lot of nervous breakdowns, and we think that you have narcissistic personality disorder. And I'm like, narcissistic personality disorder? I mean, yeah, I'm a genius, and I guess I'm pretty good looking, but narcissistic. Anyway, they discharged me from the army, so now I'm 24 years old, and I don't got a job aside from photography and little naked kids. But like a real job, I don't have one, so I need something to do. So one weekday morning, I'm driving around in my car, and I see, I, s- I see this little girl, maybe like 9 or 10, maybe even 8. Beautiful little girl, and I'm driving it, and I pull over, and I say, look, come over here, and she's like, my mom tells me not to talk to strangers. Well, that bullshit. So then I tell her, I'm not a stranger. I'm best friends with your mom. And, she told me that if I would see you to give you this, or you could bring it to her after school. So she's like, oh, okay. What do you got? And I'm like, oh, I forgot it in my house. Just hop in the car. I'll give it to you, and then I'll drive you back to school. So, I drive it to my house, and, I tell her, look, it's time to take those clothes off. And I mean, yeah, she's gonna kick and scream a little bit, but eventually those clothes are coming off. So the clothes are off, and we do our little thing, and I mean, what am I supposed to do? So we do a little thing, but then I hear a knock at the door. So I'm like, hold on a second. So I get up and I run to the door, and I look out the window, and I see that it's the cops. So I'm like, hold on a second. So I put my pants on really fast, and I do my belt and whatever, and I open the door. I'm like, excuse me, officers, is there a problem? And they're like, yeah, we got a call from somebody saying that there's suspicious activity going on over here. Do you mind if we come in and we take a look around? And I'm like, sure, officers, no problem. Just hold on a second. As you can see, I'm not ready. Just hold on, give me a minute. So, I close the door, I lock the door, and I go into my kitchen, and I take a lead pipe, and I take the lead pipe, and I run back in to the little girl in my living room. And, she's so beautiful, and it pains me to do this, but the cops are chasing me. They're right at the door. So I got to take the lead pipe, and I knock her right in the head. And, she's lying there unconscious. I didn't kill her. And she's lying there unconscious, and I run out the back door. So eventually the cops bust in, and they see the little girl, but by the time that they already see, I'm already halfway to New York. So I spent the next little bit of my life in New York as a camp counselor. But I'm a fugitive from LA. So these two girls who were in my camp group that I was in charge of, they're in the mall, and they see this picture of me on the FBI's most wanted list. So, of course they're gonna report me, those little two. So, they report me, and so now, they bring me back to LA, and they're like, you raped this little girl. Rape? I didn't rape it. She wanted it. I mean, come on, ask her. So, you raped this little girl, and you're going to jail. You're gonna do time. But lucky me, and I'll tell you, I must be a genius or some luck for this to happen. Her family moved them all to Mexico and refused to let her come back to testify. So, with nobody testifying on me, with none of that, they can't arrest me. So I'm let free and I'm back in. And life goes on little by little. There's a few more rapes, a few more kills. And I was on the dating game, Bachelor number one, and I won. But eventually, as you know, I'm on death row for the third time. There's no way I'm staying, and I'm serving out the rest of my sentence in New York. So my question for you guys is, if they would have caught me and they would have arrested me for the rape of Tally Shapiro, would I have this many more murders and rapes under my belt?